Welcome to the Jamul Casino Resort Padres postgame show on the Padres Radio Network. Coming up, we'll deliver a full recap of today's game, including highlights from the biggest moments. Listen to Mike Shildt's postgame comments. Plus, we'll bring you today's play of the game. From the Padres Radio Network, here's Sam Levitt.
0-2. And the pitch to Bouchard, hit on the ground to the left side. Iglesias at short has it, goes to second one. Cronenworth to first is in time, and a double play to end the game. Robert Suarez comes on and cleans it up as the Padres take game one here at Coors, 13-9.
Woo, it got a lot more interesting than what you thought it would be. Final score, Padres 13 and the Rockies 9, as the Padres do hang on and beat the Rockies in this series opener in Colorado. Padres with the win improved to 24-13. Rockies have dropped 7 in a row. They dropped to 6-32. Sam Levitt with you inside our San Diego studios. Welcome into our Jamul Casino Resort Padres post-game show. Hey player, the Jamul Casino Resort is your place with the Lux Hotel Tower opening soon. New dining and a long list of amazing amenities. You'll have more ways to play and enjoy all the perks of your casino fun. Jamul Casino Resort, the player's place. Lot to do on our post-game coverage. We have all the radio highlights for you. We'll hear from Padres manager Mike Shildt and much, much more to come. All right, let's start with the really good of this game. We talked in the pregame in a number of different respects about this being a day where you really wanted the Padres offense to put up some crooked numbers. And that was for a few reasons. Number one, playing at Coors Field against the Rockies team that right now, entering today, was on pace for 136 losses. That right now is even worse than the White Sox were at this time last year. That was number one. Number two, the Padres lineup fully healthy for the first time in more than a month, with Jake Cronenworth coming off the IL today. And also the Padres facing a guy in Antonio Senzatella, starting pitcher for the Rockies, that typically is very hittable, and the Padres generally have very, very good numbers against. The good news, the Padres offensively totally answered the bell in this game. Up and down the lineup, Padres within the first 3 batters of the game had a run, 3 straight singles from Tatis, Arraez, and Machado. Boom, just like that, a 1-0 game. 4-run third, 5-run fifth inning, 2-run sixth inning, 1 more run in the 8th inning. Padres had a 13-2 lead at one point in this game when the bottom half of the 8th inning began. And you look up and down the lineup. Fernando had a hit and 2 runs scored. Luis Arraez had 3 hits, 2 runs scored. Manny Machado had 3 hits, a double, RBI, 2 runs scored. Jackson Merrill, 3 hits, couple of RBIs. Xander Bogaerts had an RBI in this game. Jake Cronenworth had a hit, couple of runs scored, RBI. Gavin Sheets had a good day. 2 hits, 4 RBIs for Sheets. Jason Hayward had an RBI single. Martin Maldonado, 2-run homer. Up and down the lineup, Padres did what they needed to do offensively. They opened up a big lead, took a 13-2 lead, had 16 hits in this game. The Padres offensively did exactly what you needed them to do. And that was the story of this game. And then there ended up being a little sub-story, if you will, and that was the Padres bullpen making this far more interesting than what you thought it was going to be. Rockies scoring 5 runs in the 8th inning. Sean Reynolds making his 2025 debut. Did not go well. You understand putting Reynolds in that spot. Soft landing, first appearance of the year, coming off the stress reaction in the foot. Did not go well. Reynolds ultimately gets charged with 4 runs on 4 hits in 2/3 of an inning. Wandy Peralta comes in the 8th inning, gives up a little more. Peralta then comes back out for the 9th inning, gives up a leadoff hit. Alec Jacob comes in, he gives up some hits, and all of a sudden, you're in the 9th inning. It's a 4-run game, 13-9. Rockies scoring 5 in the 8th inning to make it 13-7. 2 runs in the 9th inning to make it 13-9. And you've got to get Robert Suarez in the game because with the tying run on deck, it's a save situation. So, look, it was a game where you didn't want to have to burn Robert Suarez in that game, and luckily he comes in, he throws 3 pitches, so we'll see what that means for his availability. You know, obviously he'd be available tomorrow. Would he pitch 3 days in a row if you needed him Sunday? I don't know, but it just was not the kind of game when you're sitting there in the 8th inning at 13-2. You're thinking Robert Suarez is even going to get warmed up, and Jeremiah Estrada was warmed up at one point as well. So that was definitely a frustrating aspect of this game. The fact that you even had to go to Robert Suarez and you couldn't get Reynolds and Peralta and Jacob somehow through this game to shut the door on the game. The other good part of this game, I mentioned the offense, obviously the bullpen, other than Suarez and Matsui, you kind of put in the other category of things that you didn't love about this game. Randy Vasquez was really good. 6 innings, 2 runs given up, 6 hits allowed, 5 strikeouts, 1 walk. Walks have been a big problem. Did a really good job. Gave up a couple of solo home runs, but again, Padres had such a big lead in this game by the 3rd, 4th, 5th inning. That was fine, the solo home run. So Randy really good in this game. This was a really nice night for the Padres, where offensively you felt like they did everything they needed to do and should do. Randy Vasquez did what he needed to do and really had a nice outing. And then it just got really interesting at the end. And thankfully, the Padres hold on for a 13-9 win, because there was a moment in that 9th inning where, it goes from, okay, Rockies are scoring some runs. No big deal. This will be okay. They'll figure it out. And then they get those 2 on in the 9th inning, down by 4, and the tying runs on deck, and you're getting Suarez up. And let's be honest, you're sitting there thinking, are the Rockies going to come back in this game? Is this going to be like a disaster in Colorado tonight? And thankfully, it wasn't. Padres hang on. And hey, win's a win. They got it. And they win at 13-9 against the Colorado Rockies. When we come back, we'll hear from Padres manager Mike Shildt. We'll also have all the radio highlights for you. Continue to wrap this one up as the Padres win on this Friday night in Colorado. Final score, Padres 13 and the Rockies 9. Our Jamul Casino Resort Padres postgame show continues after this. Welcome back into our Jamul Casino Resort Padres post-game show on this Friday night. Final score, Padres 13 and the Rockies 9 as the Padres win this series opener in Colorado. Sam Levitt back with you inside our San Diego studios. Appreciate you joining us on this Friday evening. Maybe you're on the way to some Friday evening plans. Maybe you were out for dinner. Maybe you're listening or watching at home. However you're enjoying our post-game coverage, we very much appreciate it. Let's recap this ball game from start to finish.
Which moments determine the outcome of today's game? We'll paint you a picture with our game highlights on the Padres Radio Network.
The Padres got off to a very quick start tonight against Rockies starter Antonio Senzatella in the top of the first. Fernando Tatis Jr. hit a leadoff single on the first pitch of the game. Luis Arraez then singled. Just like that, there were two on base for Manny Machado.
As Manny laces one into center field, that's a base hit. Fernando rounding third on his way. Doyle's throw will go to short. RBI single, Manny Machado. Padres take a 1-0 lead and 3 straight hits against Senzatella to begin the night.
Padres would load the bases with nobody out. It could have been a huge inning, but Senzatella got a line-out double play and a strikeout to end the frame. Randy Vasquez tossed 2 scoreless innings to begin his night on the mound. In the top of the third, Padres still up 1-0. The Padres had runners on first and second with 1 out for Jackson Merrill.
1-0 pitch. And Merrill swings, hits it in the air to left field deep. Beck is back. He will turn around to watch, and it bangs off the top of the wall. Fernando rounding third, he'll stay. Arraez going to be held at third. Merrill into second with an RBI double, and the Padre lead is 2-0.
An absolute BB off the bat of Jackson Merrill.
Later in the inning, the bases were loaded with 2 men away for Gavin Sheets.
Here's the 2-1 pitch. In the air up the left field line. Beck, long run towards the line. Not going to get there. Bounces down a fair ball. He kind of knocks it into the corner. All 3 runs will come in and score. Gavin Sheets empties the bases, and the Padres lead it 5-0 here in the third.
So it does indeed come back to haunt the Rockies.
So a big hit for Gavin Sheets. Padres had a 5-0 lead until Michael Toglia hit a solo home run for the Rocks in the bottom half of the 4th inning. But that run, well, at the time, it didn't mean a whole lot. Padres offense was cooking in the 5th inning. Manny Machado hit a leadoff single, a 1-out walk to Xander Bogaerts. Jake Cronenworth then grounded into a fielder's choice, but a throwing error allowed Manny to come around third base and score. Padres led 6-1. There was a runner on first for Gavin Sheets.
3-2 to Sheets. Cronenworth runs, and that is ripped in the air down the right field line. A fair ball. Going to bounce and roll all the way to the base of the wall. Cronenworth scores easily. Sheets into second with his second double of the night. And the Padre lead here in the 5th inning is 7-1.
Second double of the night, 4th RBI of the night.
Next up, Jason Hayward against Rockies reliever Jimmy Herget.
0-1. Herget, look back at Sheets, now the pitch. And Hayward on a line into right field. That's a base hit. Sheets is on his way home. The throw from Moniak will be cut at first base. RBI single Jason Hayward. And now 8-1 San Diego.
Everybody eats on a day like this.
Padres weren't done, and Tony was right. Everybody was eating. How about Martin Maldonado?
Hayward at first, 2 down. First pitch, righty to righty, swung on, hit in the air, deep to left field. Beck is back to watch this one. Gonna go! Martin Maldonado with his second home run against Herget, his second of the year. A 2-run shot here in the 5th inning, and it is 10-1.
Like I said, everyone eats on a night like tonight.
Padres were hungry. A 5-run 5th inning. Padres led 10-1 through 5. They were cruising. More offense in the top of the 6th inning against Herget. 2 on base with nobody out for Jackson Merrill.
2-2 to Merrill. And the pitch is bounced towards first base. McMahon's got it. Thought about coming home. Instead tried to go to first and not in time. Wow. 11-1 Padres.
Yeah, the Rockies just had miscue after miscue in the early to middle part of this game. Padres then scored another run on a sac fly from Xander Bogaerts. They led 12-1. Ryan McMahon hit a solo home run against Vasquez in the bottom half of the 6th to make it 12-2. Vasquez went 6 innings, gave up just the 2 solo home runs. A good start for Randy. 6 hits given up, 5 strikeouts, 1 walk. Yuki Matsui pitched the scoreless bottom of the 7th inning, so he went to the top of the 8th inning. Brandon Lockridge in the game. He hit a leadoff double as the Padres, rightfully so, started taking some of their regulars out. Lockridge was on second for Jake Cronenworth.
1-0. Jake swings, lines it into right field. That's a base hit. Lockridge rounding third. He'll score without a play. Jake takes a wide turn at first base. He'll be content with an RBI single. Padres add another 13-2 here in the 8th.
So the Padres had a 13-2 lead heading bottom 8, and it would turn out the Padres needed the additional offense as this one went on. That's because the Rockies scored 5 runs in the bottom of the 8th inning. Sean Reynolds was charged with 4 runs on 4 hits. That included a homer from Jordan Beck, a 2-run double for Kyle Farmer. Wandy Peralta came in, gave up an RBI single to Sean Bouchard and another to Brenton Doyle. Rockies sending 10 men to the plate in the bottom half of the 8th inning, but the Padres still led 13-7 at the end of 8. Padres didn't score in the 9th inning, and remember, at this point, Tatis, Machado, Bogarts, all out of the game, rightfully so, with what was at one point a 13-2 game in the 8th inning. So he went bottom 9. Wandy Peralta stayed on. Ryan McMahon singled to begin the inning. Mike Shildt went to Alec Jacob, the right-hander. Hunter Goodman dug in for the Rockies.
The 0-1 pitch hit hard on a line fair up the third baseline. That's going to go all the way down into the corner. Lockridge kind of misplayed it, fell down a little bit. That's going to allow McMahon to come in and score. That's going to let Goodman get all the way to third, and it's 13-8 here in the ninth.
So a 13-8 game. Things starting to get a little too interesting, right? Jacob issued a walk. Mickey Moniak hit a sac fly to make it 13-9. Jacob gave up a single to put 2 on base. So all of a sudden, it was a 4-run game. The tying run was on deck. It became a save situation. So the Padres, right move, they went to Robert Suarez. Suarez came in, and he finally put on the finishing touch.
0-2. And a pitch to Bouchard, hit on the ground to the left side. Iglesias at short has it, goes to second one. Cronenworth to first is in time, and a double play to end the game. Robert Suarez comes on and cleans it up as the Padres take game 1 here at Coors, 13-9.
And that sound you hear, all of San Diego exhaling as the Padres win it 13-9. A very good night for about 7.5 innings. Final 30-40 minutes felt like it could be a Coors Field disaster, but the Padres win it 13-9. They win this series opener against Colorado. 13 runs on 16 hits, no errors for the Padres. For the Rockies, 9 runs, 16 hits, and 3 errors. They played some really shaky defense in this game. Padres 24-13. Rockies dropped to 6-32. Randy Vasquez, nice outing. He improves to 2-3 on the year. Antonio Senzatella, drops to 1-6 for Colorado. And oh, by the way, Robert Suarez, in a game where you never would have thought he would have had a save chance, at one point he does pick up his 15th save of the year. Robert is now 15 for 15 in save opportunities. Hey, he got 2 outs on 3 pitches. Well deserved for Robert Suarez. He'll take the save, right? Well, step aside. When we come back, we go back to Denver, hear from Mike Shildt. Again, the final score, Padres 13 and the Rockies 9 on the Padres Radio Network. Our Jamul Casino Resort Padres postgame show continues here on a Friday night in America's finest city. Padres win it 13-9 against the Colorado Rockies. Why not? Enjoying, grooving on a Friday night. Padres offense was great in this game. 13 runs on 16 hits. Randy Vasquez, very good outing. 6 innings, 2 runs given up, 6 hits. The only blemish in this game, as we've said throughout the post game so far, well, the bullpen made it far more interesting than what you would have liked. Sean Reynolds, tough outing in the 8th inning, 4 runs given up on 4 hits. Wandy Peralta, 4 hits, 2 runs he was charged with between the 8th and the 9th. Alec Jacob gave up a run on a couple of hits, and in fact, the Rockies would get the tying run on deck, so the Padres went to Robert Suarez in what became a save situation. By the way, a game that was 13-2. As we went to the bottom half of the 8th inning, Suarez shut the door, got a double play ball. Padres got away with a 13-9 win. Luis Arraez, 3 hits. Manny Machado, 3 hits. Jackson Merrill, 3 hits, and a couple of RBIs. Gavin Sheets had 2 hits and 4 RBIs, so contributions up and down the lineup as the Padres jumped out to a 13-2 lead, and they go on to win it by a final of 13-9. Let's go back to Coors Field in Denver and hear some post-game reaction.
Let's pull up a seat in the manager's office and hear from Padres manager Mike Shildt. Served up by Sin Lee Food, where fresh meets flavor. Find farm fresh produce, bold Asian spices, and gourmet ingredients at 4665 El Cajon Boulevard. Sin Lee Food, the cook's Asian resource.
The way that transpired at the end, you guys had to hold on. How much do you chalk up to Coors Field? Strange stuff happens here.
I mean, they put good swings in the ball. I mean, I don't know where the pitches were. They kept swinging the bats. We didn't, outside of Jacob with the 1 walk, full count walk, made them swing the bats. And I don't know what to chalk it up to. They swung the bats and they came back, and Suarez came in and closed it out.
The way you built the big lead is pretty much textbook, though.
Absolutely textbook. 1 through 9. I mean, great contributions. Every single guy in the lineup, to quality bats. I love the approach. First inning, boom. Toddy away, Louis away, Mandy in the middle, Bogey lines out the other way. Sheetsy later gets bases clearing, double down the left field line. Malty continues to take good at bats. Hasn't had as much to show for it, but barreled up some balls. Bogey again, good at bats. Jay Hay, good situational at bats, drove in a run. Stopped there with Jay Hay, man, with 2 fantastic plays. He's really played well defensively and deserves some credit there. But love the approach, 1 through 9, hungry, kept adding on, and that's what good offenses do.
You talked about 1 through 9. You had all your guys today. How great is that? To see? I know you've gotten contributions from everywhere, but to have like a fully healthy bunch.
Yeah, it's a good feeling. I mean, listen, every night we run a lineup out there, we feel confident about the ability to compete and shake hands in the game. We've been able to do that. Tonight, though, we got our, what has been our kind of our go-to lineup from the start of the season back in there, and it looked good. It looked really good. Crony good at bats as well. Kind of left him out in the parade, but he did a nice job. It's good to have him back. A lot of quality at bats.
What do you think of Vasquez?
Oh, he's great.
Particularly his glove.
The play he made was phenomenal. I mean, that was a really, really, and at the time, a really big play. He takes a run off the board. He feels his position well. He actually dominated 0-1-1 counts. I mean, he dominated it. And I thought he threw the ball really well. They popped him for a couple homers, but other than that, he was terrific and controlled counts, softer contact, defense was good. I mentioned Hayward, Manny does his thing and made a nice play, and he threw the ball very well.
What did you notice about his attack? Because he was kind of on the attack tonight.
He was on the attack. He was on the attack. I think he had all it. I know he had his pitches working. He had good light to his fastball. He was at the 95 at one point. Cutter was good early. The breaking ball was good. Mixed in some other stuff. So he was great. Off balance, off the barrel a lot. Threw the ball well.
That was Padres manager Mike Shildt after this 13-9 win for the Padres against the Colorado Rockies. Sam Levitt back with you inside our San Diego studios, and a lot of good stuff there to cover. And Mike Shildt pretty much hitting on everything we've discussed so far up and down the lineup. Padres got great contributions, and even early on, just the way they attacked Senzatella, Tatis, Arraez, Machado, boom, boom, boom. 3 singles just like that. Padres had a 1-0 lead. And again, theme of this game, headline, I should say, of this game coming in, and we talked about it plenty on the pregame, the fact that Jake Cronenworth was back and the fact that this was the first time in more than a month the Padres were fully healthy offensively. It was the lineup we saw opening day, the lineup that got off to such a good start to the season. And you look at the numbers, and I won't rehash it right now, but you look at what they did when they were fully healthy and what they did as a collective from the time the injuries started piling up to Wednesday in New York, and the numbers dipped a lot by batting average, on base percentage, OPS. We went through it all in the pregame today. So it was great to A, see the lineup back fully whole today, and B, on that day at Coors Field against Senzatella, a guy they should be able to hit, and against the team they should be able to hit, the Padres go out, score 13 runs on 16 hits, open up a big lead, and take care of business today against the Rockies. And Randy Vasquez, again, very solid in this outing. 6 innings, 2 runs given up. You'll take the solo home runs with a big lead. And again, the number that really stands out to me for Vasquez is 5 strikeouts to 1 walk. We told you 24 walks coming in to this outing, highest in the major leagues, most walks given up in the major leagues. So walks have been a big issue for Randy, really, despite the final lines, no matter good or worse throughout the early part of this season. But he limited walks today and did a much better job in that department. Padres win it 13-9 against the Rockies. When we come back, we'll get into our catch of the game, relief pitcher of the game, full look at the out-of-town scoreboard, our play of the game. If you want to get a phone call in, squeeze it in, 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. Phone number to call if you want to chime in. Padres win it on a Friday in Denver, 13-9. Our Jamul Casino Resort Padres postgame show continues after these words. Our Jamul Casino Resort Padres postgame show continues here on the Padres Radio Network, brought to you by the all-new Jamul Casino Resort, the Players Place. Sam Levitt with you inside our San Diego studios on a Friday evening here in America's finest city. Padres win it 13-9 against the Colorado Rockies. Padres take this series opener. Rockies have dropped 7 in a row. The Rocks are 6-32 on the season. So, hey, they did show some fight, and, give them credit for that. But the Padres hang on for a 13-9 win as the Padres improve to 24-13 on the season. If you want to get a phone call in, you can do that, 833-288-0973. As always, the phone number to call. Nice defensive plays in this game, a couple that we could talk about. But let's focus on one with our catch of the game.
Which defensive play had the biggest impact on today's game?
He is at the wall, leaps up, and he makes the catch.
This is the catch of the game.
Gonna hang a star for Jackson Merrill.
Reeled in by Anthony's Fish Grotto La Mesa, celebrating 80 years of seafood excellence.
I knew it was the Cowboys we were talking about.
Little roller to the left of the mound. Vasquez bare hands it coming home. The tag got him. What a play by Randy Vasquez. Throws Goodman out at home and 2 away here in the second inning.
Really nice play by Randy in that bottom half of the second. Had to go to his right with a run around third base, picked up the ball, threw home, tumbled towards the third base line. Did a really good job preventing the Rockies from, at the time, what would have been the tying run to tie it at 1 in the bottom half of the second. So a really nice play. It was a very, very good defensive play by Randy, fielding his position very well, helped prevent a run, got him through 2 scoreless innings. So that was our catch of the game. Randy Vasquez doing a nice job with that play to get the out at home in the second inning. Let's tell you about today's relief pitcher of the game.
Which pitcher entered the game and slammed the door shut? This is today's relief pitcher of the game, presented by David P. Shapiro Criminal Defense Attorneys. When your freedom and future are on the line, you need the best arm in the pen. Visit davidpshapirolaw.com.
0-2. And the pitch to Bouchard, hit on the ground to the left side. Iglesias at short has it, goes to second one. Cronenworth to first is in time, and a double play to end the game. Robert Suarez comes on and cleans it up as the Padres take game 1 here at Coors, 13-9.
Yeah, cleans it up, a good way to put it. Robert Suarez coming in that bottom half of the 9th inning as things were getting very, very tricky. Tying run on deck, so it became a safe situation. Padres' right move, in my opinion, went to Suarez. It got to a point there you couldn't mess around anymore. You had to go get Suarez to come in and shut the door, and he did exactly that. Threw 3 pitches, got a game-ending double play to finally put this one to bed. And Robert continues to be great now, 15 for 15 in save opportunities, 17 and 2/3 innings, 1 run given up on 6 hits, now a 0.51 ERA in 18 appearances. So Robert Suarez, to this point, having an all-star caliber first half of the season, and hey, did his job, came in and did what a great closer should do, even in a game like this, where I'm sure he's sitting there in the 8th inning thinking to himself, there's no way I'm coming into this game. And you give him credit because he got himself ready to go and did the job pretty quickly when he was called upon in that 9th inning. So again, Robert Suarez, our relief pitcher of the game, now 15 for 15 in save opportunities. All right, let's quickly go to the phones, 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973, phone number to call. Lead things off tonight. Let's go to Trevor. Trevor, you're on the Padres Radio Network. Welcome in.
Hey, Sammy.
Hey.
You're wonderful at what you do, and I just want to give a shout out to Mike Shildt. What a great manager he was. You know, he got everybody in the lineup. He got everybody a chance to shine. You know, we were winning by a ton, and then he got Vasquez to win. He got the save for Robert, and wow. What a great manager. We have the best manager in baseball. I can't believe it. And shout out to all the levitators and scrabenators. And thank you, Sammy. You're so wonderful.
Well,
thank you.
Trevor, appreciate that very much. Yes, shout out to the levitators out there and the scrabenators out there. Yeah, look, Mike, in my opinion, did pretty much everything right tonight. To me, it was not on him. The fact that you're sitting there in the 8th, 9th inning and you've taken Tatis out, you've taken Manny out, you've taken Xander out, and then you're getting to a point in the game because the bullpen, isn't getting it done with Reynolds and Peralta, where you're sitting there saying to yourself, oh my goodness, now these guys are all out of the game, and all of a sudden this is a game again. Look, I had absolutely no problem with Mike Shildt, getting Tatis, Machado, and Bogarts off their feet. I mean, it's a 13-2 game. I know things get crazy at Coors Field, but this bullpen, really top to bottom, and I know it's been a little shakier as of late, has been good enough where you think they're going to be able to hold that. So, and look, I have no problem with Mike trying to get through this game without having to go to guys like Estrada and Suarez and Adam, any high leverage guys. You're leading 13-2. So, look, unfortunately, he had to go to Suarez in the 9th inning. They just, the rest of his bullpen left him no choice. But, look, he was trying to do the right thing and getting guys off their feet and whatnot. So, but look, Mike's done obviously a very, very, very nice job so far. With the Padres, 93-win season, and has this team off to a 24-13 start in 2025. Let's step aside. When we come back, full look at the out-of-town scoreboard, our play of the game, wrap things up, get you ready for tomorrow, right here on the Padres Radio Network. Our Jamul Casino Resort Padres postgame show continues here on the Padres Radio Network. Final score, Padres 13 and the Rockies 9 as the Padres win this series opener in Colorado. Game 2 of this series tomorrow. We'll have a preview of that game coming up in just a moment. First, let's take a full look at the out-of-town scoreboard.
Let's take a trip around the bigs to highlight the scores that matter most with our out-of-town scoreboard. Presented by Jensen Premium Beef Patties. Always a hit for grilling.
We take a look at what's going on around the major leagues tonight. We've got a wild game in Arizona. Diamondbacks and the Dodgers tied at 11 in the ninth inning right now in Arizona. Dodgers have tied it in the top of the ninth inning, so keep an eye on that one. 11-11 in the ninth in Arizona right now. Yankees ahead of the A's, pardon me, 2 games going on right now. Yankees ahead of the A's 10-1 in Sacramento in the ninth inning. Everything else has gone final. Pirates beat the Braves 3-2. Tigers beat the Rangers 2-1 in Detroit. Cardinals beat the Nationals 10-0 in DC. Rays beat the Brewers 4-3 in Tampa Bay. The Rays had a walk-off walk in that game in the bottom half of the ninth inning. Mets beat the Cubs 7-2 in New York. Juan Soto a home run, Francisco Lindor a home run, Jeff McNeil a home run in that game for the Mets. Guardians beat the Phillies 6-0 in Cleveland. Jose Ramirez a home run for Cleveland. Royals beat the Red Sox 2-1 in 12. Freddie Fermin a walk-off hit to win that one in the bottom half of the 12th inning for KC. White Sox beat the Marlins 6-2 in Chicago. Astros beat the Reds 3-0 in Houston. Nice outing for Hunter Brown in that game. Picks up the win. He's now got a 1.48 ERA in the year. Very good right-hander. Twins beat the Giants 3-1 in Minnesota. Orioles beat the Angels 4-1 up in Anaheim, and the Blue Jays beat the Mariners 6-3 in Seattle. And that is a full look at the out-of-town scoreboard on this Friday. All right, let's squeeze in one more phone call here before we go. We'll give you our play of the game and wrap things up. Let's go to Arturo calling in from Eastlake. Arturo, welcome in. How are you?
Hey, Sammy. I actually, driving around, Ubering around. I'm the Uber guy.
Yes, of course.
I switched it off for a little bit. Yuki was pitching. They were up 12-2. And I figured, it's in the bag, and then I turn it back on, and then they say that it's 20 combined runs. What the heck is going on? I absolutely despise baseball. I know it's baseball, but it's not really baseball, if you know what I mean. Yeah. But anyway, I just wanted to mention that after these 3 games against the Yankees, and now we have our whole team together, I think we can safely say this is definitely a contending team. I don't think they're afraid of anybody, and I think we have the tools to be right there, towards the finish line. Obviously, there'll be something of I'm getting too far ahead, but
yeah,
that they'll probably get somebody like an arm or a batter or whatever. But I really like this team. I think this is a really good team, and I've seen some really bad teams in my lifetime, and I one quick comment there. I remember when Trevor would come in and sometimes throw one pitch and get a save.
Yeah.
So it felt kind of like that today with Robert Flores. So thanks, Sammy, for getting my call, and always keep up an excellent job. You always do so.
Oh, well,
love hearing you.
I appreciate it, Arturo. Thanks so much for listening, tuning in, calling in as always. And look, the ups and downs of a season, even in the first quarter of it, the injuries the Padres have dealt with, you can't argue with the record. 24-13, they're playing well, and have done a really nice job battling through the injuries, and now are, pretty much fully healthy. Yu Darvish seems to be on the way back. Hopefully by the end of the month, you get him back. And you're right, Robert Suarez did a real nice job coming in, shutting the door on this victory for the Padres in Denver here tonight. As Nick and I, we were a little fixated final seconds of an exciting basketball game. We're looking at the TV. It is what it is. All right, back to the baseball. 13-9, Padres win it against the Rockies. Let's hear tonight's play of the game.
The line between winning and losing can be razor thin. Which play was the difference between victory and defeat? This is today's play of the game, presented by Bill Howe Plumbing, Heating, and Air.
Here's the 2-1 pitch. In the air up the left field line. Beck, long run towards the line. Not going to get there. Bounces down a fair ball. He kind of knocks it into the corner. All 3 runs will come in and score. Gavin Sheets empties the bases, and the Padres lead it 5-0 here in the third.
So it does indeed come back to haunt the Rockies.
Gavin Sheets, the bases clearing double. That one came in the bottom half of the third, made it a 5-0 game. That was just the start of the offense here today. 13 runs on 16 hits for the Padres. They would open up a 13-2 lead. Rockies, as we know, made it little too interesting, too close for comfort in the final couple of innings, but the Padres hang on 13-9. Big day for Gavin Sheets. He had 4 RBIs, and Sheets also 2 hits, including that bases clearing double to make it 5-0 in the third. And that was our play of the game. As always, if you missed any portion of our post-game coverage, you can go back and listen to all of it on the Inside San Diego Baseball podcast with Sam Levitt, available on the Odyssey app or wherever you find your podcast. You can also go watch any portion of our post-game coverage on the 97.3 The Fan YouTube channel. Taking a look ahead to tomorrow, a little bit earlier start time tomorrow, 5:10 p.m. first pitch. We'll be on the air with our Eco Water SoCal Padres pregame show at 4:10. Right-hander Stephen Kolek on the mound for the Padres tomorrow. He'll make his second major league start, second start of the season. Right-hander Bradley Blaylock on the mound for Colorado. Taking a look at the final totals here tonight in the opener of this 3-game set. For the Padres, 13 runs, 16 hits, no errors. They left on 7. For the Rockies, 9 runs, 16 hits, 3 errors. They left on 8. Winning pitcher, Randy Vasquez, who improves to 2-3. Losing pitcher was Antonio Senzatella, who drops to a record of 1-6. Save goes to Robert Suarez, his 15th of the season. Robert now 15 for 15 in save opportunities. Time of game, 3 hours and 11 minutes. And the crowd at Coors Field in Denver, Colorado, 30,490. Once again, first pitch tomorrow, 5:10 p.m. Our pregame coverage begins at 4:10. Until then, for our great, and I mean great, studio coordinator Nick Danucci, I'm Sam Levitt saying so long and good night. Again, the final score here tonight, the San Diego Padres 13 and the Colorado Rockies 9. We'll talk to you tomorrow on the Padres Radio Network. Have a great night, everybody.